Alright guys, so let's get the axles taken apart. Sorry for my incorrect grammar. This is the part you're probably going to dislike the most. We've got to pull these outside joints off. This, this side here goes on the diff, like that. Your diff would be here. Well, those have to come off. We're getting rid of the splined area, and we're getting rid of this actual tube or this shaft here. So we need to pull those apart. So what I'm going to use is just one of these cheapo Walmart little baby screwdriver sets. And I'm using a tiny flathead one, the smallest one in there. Smallest one in here. So this is what we're going to do. And if you have a hobby shop local where you bought your WIDEMAXX kit, it's not a bad idea to tell them, hey, can I have a little assortment baggie of clips? They'll have a baggie of clips that replace these in case one flies across the room and you can't find it. I will shoot the part number in down below in the description. I've got a baggie here somewhere, but I didn't get it out. So I'll get the part number and I'll put it in the description just in case you want that. These can be a pain, I'm not going to lie. They're going to be a pain for me. This is going to be rough. I'm not going to lie, because I don't change them very often. I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to show you guys how I do it, and hopefully you guys can get it done relatively easily and not get too frustrated. So let's get going. Lay it down like this, push down on it. I'm just going to try and push that off of there. There it comes. There it is. You see that? Now, I remember, once you do a couple of them, you're like, oh, I got this. I'll do it like this. So I'm going to take that tiny E-clip. I'm going to put it inside one of these little cups just in case I need it. It's going to come with new ones, but just in case I lose one of those new ones. Okay, so we've got that one out. Now, I'm probably honestly not going to show doing all these because however long you saw me do that, it took me about 7 minutes to get that stupid clip off of there. I haven't done one of these in a year, actually, because my first Maxx is about a year old, maybe a little bit more, and that's when I did it. So it's been a year since I popped these clips off, and boy, have my eyes gotten worse in that year's time. So anyway, I'm going to probably show one more, and then I'm going to get them all done. And I'm going to show you how to put them on. I'm not going to just leave you hanging. Putting them on is also another story. Alright guys, so I got the clips off. So now I'm going to show you guys what happens when you take it all apart. So let's go ahead and get these apart. I'm just going to set some out the way. We'll start with this one here. Okay, so to take these out, just take one of your tools, like your 2mm or 1.5, anything like that will work fine. I'm just going to use my 1.5. It's laying close. So now, when you get the clip off, that side that the clip is off of will push through. By the way, you don't have to take both clips off. You just need to get one off. You guys probably figured that out pretty quick. So I took the clip off of this side, and it's still all assembled and everything. So we're going to just start by pushing that through. So we're going to take right here and push it through. And see that pin coming out? You can see that clip is still on that side. So we'll drop it right there. Now this will come apart. Now you get this, right? And then this one here has a lip on one side that keeps it in, and this side doesn't. And the only reason it doesn't come out is because it's got this pin through it. So now this side will push right out too, see? Push it out, and then you got that joint all tore down. That's all there is to that. So take all that stuff and put it in one of your little cups or put it aside until you get everything else apart. Well, you don't need the axle side, you're just going to need the diff side. So I'll put that in there like that. See what I have in there? We'll put that over there. And all this stuff is interchangeable, so it doesn't matter if you get that, the little cross pins and stuff mixed up. So then we're going to do the same thing with these here. And I'm just going to go a little bit faster. Same exact process. Pins taken off of this side, so we're going to push it through. Sometimes you may have to give it a little bit of persuasion to get a little gritty, like see that one there. I'll just take a pair of vice grips and be sure you don't grab that clip and squeeze it. Grab it down below in the shank, take it out, put it in your cup, take your outer off. This is the part you're going to need. You don't need any of this. As far as the axle, you still need your little block and your pin. So take that out. Alright, you guys caught the drift. Let's go ahead and take the rest of these out real quick. I'll go ahead and show me doing it. Push it out, pull the pin, take it apart, flip it over, shake it out. And you can, like I said, we're ditching these. You can save them for spares on a different truck or whatever. Put your goodies in your thing, The last one to come apart here. This side has a pin off of it. Push it through, take it on out, pull that off, push that through, and there you go. These axles were dumb. I don't know what they were doing to them. I haven't really twisted any off like that. That's from hitting the ground on the power. That's what that is. Okay, put our goodies in there. And so this. So let's take a look at what we're going to keep. So this is it. You're going to keep the 2 yokes that go on your diff, your 2 outers that go on the outside that your actual wheel nut screws onto. You can keep all your large and small pins and your 4 little blocks right there. Okay, let's put this back together. Alright, WIDEMAXX kit. Let's slice it open. Let's see what we got. Oh, they're pretty. There it is. Okay, so we got our rear shocks and our keepers and everything there. We have our 2 little screws that go on there. I'm sorry about all the mess, but we're going to get all this cleaned up real quick. We're just getting this out of the way. So take your rear shock, put your new springs on, and you can tell those are stout. They feel about the same, but I'm sure they're not. Alright, and you put your retainer on just the way we took it off. So, it goes on just like this here. Pull your shock spring down and put it on. And line up your screw hole there, and that's all there is to it. Let's go ahead and do the other one. We'll go ahead and back these off all the way, just to make it a little easier to put that spring on. There we go. We'll put that on there, squeeze it down. Put that in. Now these are a 2mm, so we're going to go ahead and put those screws in real fast. Already got that chucked up, so let's put it in. Just as it starts to slow down, I'm stopping there. I'm not even going to give any more than that. Okay, now our shocks are ready to go, front and rear, so we're going to put these aside. Okay, so let's move these arms out of the way, shall we guys? And let's go ahead and get those axles together. And honestly, I would rather put axles together all day long. Okay, so now, all 4 of these axle tubes, they're all the same length. You can't mix them. You can't mix them up. There's not a front. There's not a rear. There's not a left. There's not a right. So I'm going to lay those down. And now, being he had these were destroyed, and now you can use these with the longer tube, but it is not recommended because then you don't have as much biting because they're going to be really overextended like that. I ran like that for a little bit on my truck and I never had no issues. But just go ahead and do the work and go ahead and put your extended axles on. When the WIDEMAXX kit first came out, I believe it didn't even come with extended axles, and then they started offering it. So his axles were destroyed. We were going to change them anyway, so we ordered, the replacement axles. These here are also the long ones because I ordered the replacement kit for the WIDEMAXX. So now he'll have spares. Part number for these is 8993. All right, so now we're going to need 2 of these and 2 of those. Just put everything else aside. Don't worry about mixing it up. We'll figure it out. Okay, so now we're going to put these together. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Grab one of your axles. It doesn't matter which one. You can grab this one if you want. Just grab one. We're going to start with this one. So this is what we do. We're going to take big hole up, big hole in this up, and you put it in there. And you line it up. You're going to take this cross pin, drop it right through there. You get it lined up, it'll go in. Now, be careful because it'll fall all the way through. You need to be sure that the inner hole is lined up. See there? It's lined up with the pin. This is facing a little bit this way. I need it 90 degrees from the yoke, from the other pin, so I'm just going to straighten it up just like that. Okay, now you need to take, if you've got this one, the smooth one, then you need to go ahead and get your stub shaft. Your stub shaft goes on your smooth one. Your splined half is going to take your diff yoke, okay? So go ahead and grab, like I said, if you have your smooth one, grab your stub shaft, and you're going to put it right over See how the holes lined up? I'm struggling a bit. I'm doing three things at a time. So I'm watching my camera, the monitor, to see what you guys see and the part. So then just wiggle it around a little bit. Once you get it started like this, that far, it's pretty much good to go. Just wiggle it around a little bit and push it in. Boom. Back together. Now the fun part. I'm going to go ahead and put this clip on. I'm going to show you guys how to put the new clip on. And like I said, putting it on for me is way easier. Okay, so I'm going to put it just about like that. And then we've got a new baggie here with brand new clips. And if you want to change the other clip, by all means, have fun. I'm not going to. It'll be fine. I don't like changing these clips. Oops, there it is. Okay, tiny clip. Alright, so here we go. Lay it on there. Now I got it facing the wrong way, of course, but you want it obviously facing the pin. So there, it's facing the pin there. You see how I've got it? Now, I don't use a screwdriver. I just use a little pair of needle nose to squeeze it and clip it back on there. So I'm going to roll it back this way. You guys can see just a little bit. See if it doesn't come off. Alright, you see there where I've got it? Here we go. Almost. Get this backside here, maybe that'll work. There it is going on. I want to be sure I don't take you guys' view away. Boom. That is all there is to putting them things back on there. And like I said, I'd much rather put them on. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to assemble the other one, and then I'm going to pop the other two clips on real quick, and then we're going to start going together with everything. Okay, so grab your inner splined axle now. Grab that one. Grab one of your little squares. I don't know what to call that thing. One of your little square knuckles. One of the large pins. One of the small pins. Same exact procedure. You're going to take and put it in like this. Line the hole up, put the pin through. There it is. Be sure the other hole, the cross-sectional hole, is lined up. There we go. Got it lined up. I don't know if you guys can see through there. Yeah, you can see my finger through there. Okay, then we're going to have this little pin ready. Clip at the top. And we're going to take our little diff yoke and put it on there. And try not to bump that darn little square deal, because it'll turn and then misalign with the inner pin. So there you can maybe see through it. Okay, and then we're going to just take, oh, not perfect, good enough, and put this pin through there. Guys, I hope you appreciate this video. I don't know if there's a lot of videos out there this in depth on doing this little job here, and I don't blame some of the guys if they don't want to do it. It's a pain, I'm not going to lie, but man, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, right? Okay, so grab another one of your little needle clips. I'm going to drop it down. Okay, we're going to repeat this procedure one more time, and then I'm going to do the others. So I'm going to take it, and I'm going to slide it on there, just like that. Okay? Now here I'm going to squeeze against the pin, squeeze that clip. Almost. There, got it. There it is. It's a lot easier to put them on for me than taking them off, as you see. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop the other two together. And I'm going to show you this now. And I'll tell you again, when we put these back together, this is the perfect time to show you. You see those marks on there? Okay, well those are called reference marks. And you have to line them up. Otherwise, it won't go on. So you put that one at 12 o'clock, just like that. And then you put that one at 12 o'clock. And you just line them up, right? When you line them up like that, they slide right together. It won't go on if it's not lined up. If the axle's got a lot of wear on it or use, it will slide in and it'll get real tight, and you don't want that. You want it to free float really well. Okay, let me do the others real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so we're ready to start going back together with everything. So let me just show you guys. In case you were wondering, you pile it up. You got your big old pile of arms on your table, and you're like, well, which ones are which? I mean, you can obviously figure it out, but you just take your old ones and lay them down just like that. You're going to take all your new ones and just compare them. Okay, so you got that one with this shock mount on your right hand side. That's on the wrong side, so that's not that one. there it is. Okay, so there's your front one. I mean, there's your lower one. This one does not match this side. Your shock mounts on the wrong side. So grab your other one. There it is. Now, all the upper arms are the same. See there? They're all the same. Let me show you guys the axles. Axles are all together, ready to go. Alright, let's start putting everything back together now. Alright, and I told you guys I would slow down a little bit, so now I'm going to. So, let me go over this real quick just to show you. This is some of the paperwork that came with it. You can see, just so you don't take my word for it. Obviously your paper is going to be in there. Maybe you have a body and you're like, I don't know about that. So this does tell you right here, remove the 2 front and rear shocks from the truck. Remove the shock springs, all 4 shocks. Install the rear shock springs on the front shocks. The front shock springs are not used with the WIDEMAXX kit. So there you go. And then there's another little slip in there that just tells you how to take the clips off of there. And yeah, okay, we did that already. Take that, get it out of the way. All right, let's go ahead and put our little knuckles back together, shall we? Okay, we got our knuckles, we got our 4 bearings, we got our C-clamps laying right here. Go ahead and grab that. Just kind of divide it up, just kind of like that there is fine. Now you're going to need your pins that hold your knuckle to your C-clamp. These are what the pins look like. It's 4 identical pins right there. So grab those. You're going to need those. You're going to need a 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and chuck that up and move my X-Acto so I don't kill myself. Alright, grab them bearings. Check them. Grab the inside race. Give it a roll. Nice and smooth. Not crispy or anything. Good deal. Take either knuckle. Take your bearing and push it back in. Repeat with the other. Good to go. Push it back in flush. Back bearing goes obviously in the back. Good and smooth. And that one's good and smooth. So then just drop it in there, turn it flat, push it in. Turn it sideways on me. Drop it in there and try to get it flat, and then push it right into place. There it is. There, when it pops, you know it's in place. Alright, now let's go ahead and do this one. And you know, in a perfect world, you can go out and rinse all this stuff off and get it clean. But these bearings are sealed, so they'll be fine. I mean, the truck's going to be right back in the dirt anyway. You know, it's not like it's just going to die. If you have a little dirt on you, put it back together, it's going right back in the dirt. So if it was muddy and just terrible, yeah, I got to clean it up. But I'm working in my old guest room, so bear with me. All right, so let's go ahead and get your C-knuckles and your actual knuckles back together. So if the truck were sitting on the table with the front end right here, and this was the left front corner, this is going to sit on here, I believe, just like that. So then, to figure out which side goes where, you know, if the truck is facing this way, then the tie rod faces, you know, towards the back of the truck. It's not in front of the tire, so that can't work, right? That's not going to work. Okay, so this has to go like this. Boom, there you go, just like that. So that's how it goes back together. So you're going to take your pin, one of your pins, and put it in the top. And they fit kind of tight, so get it in there. And then what I'm going to do is just take and run it in a little bit with my 2.5. Get it started. There you go. Now you're going to turn it over. Do the same thing with the bottom. Just be sure that it's in the knuckle. There we go. Get good and snug, but not overly tight because you don't want to strip it. There we go. And there we go, we have our knuckle back together. Now this side ought to fall right together. Another thing that will help you is this wide part of the knuckle always faces the bottom. This is the bottom of the arm. So this goes like this. It doesn't go like this. So this goes this way. Then you're going to have this knuckle here. Your tie rod has to be on the opposite side, right? Because it's on the right side. So now, well, this goes like this. Just like that there. Get turned around looking in the camera, everything's backward. Okay, so take your top pin. And what you can do is, so it's not walking around, you can go ahead and take these pins and put them through there just flush. Not sticking out, just flush. That way you don't have so far to push it in. You know what I'm saying? Because these fit really tight. Okay, now that one's there. So now we'll turn it back over, wide part at the bottom. And we'll put this back together the way it goes. Now it's a little easier. There. And we'll squeeze them in. And then squeeze that one in. Okay. And then go ahead and send it home. There we go. And he's got some billet knuckles coming. They'll be here in a few days. So we're going to be back into this front end. There we go. So we got our knuckles back together. So that's that side. And there, that's how it sit on the truck, just like that there. Alright, so we're going to lay that down. Now let's go ahead and pop our axles back in there real quick. So we know that's the outer stub shaft, and that just goes right back in there. It doesn't matter which side it goes in. You're going to take, and be sure your back bearing is in there. You didn't forget to put it in. You see it there? Take and put it in. And it almost always is going to push that bearing out. Just push it back in. There we go. Back in. Grab your other one. And you can kind of hold the side of that bearing like that. There. All the way back in. Give it a good firm push. Hold that bearing. When you know it's all the way in, when you can see that hole right there where that cross pin goes. This one here, I don't have it all the way in. You see there? You can't see the hole at all. So we're going to hold that bearing. There. Now it's in. See there? All right, cool. Now we're cooking with gas, guys. We got those back together. So let's go ahead and get the truck up here now. I'm trying to think. There's two different ways. There's a lot of different ways to do this. I think we're going to go ahead and get the truck back up here. Put the arms back on it. We'll do it that way. Because you can assemble the arms and everything all together and then put it on as one big chunk. But I'd rather do it piece by piece. That way you guys have been through the entire thing, you know. Go ahead and grab this little bracket and then grab your 6 pins. You're going to have 2 long, 2 medium, and then 2 short. Go ahead and grab those and just kind of put them in front of you there. I think with that we can get started. Oh, you know what? You're going to need these 2 long pins. Hopefully yours aren't rusty like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of WD-40 on that. I didn't want to do too much WD-40 until I had it together, just for obvious reasons, you know. But I'm going to put some on there. Okay, so go ahead and grab a set of arms. When I say a set, go ahead and grab an upper and a lower. Sorry, upper and a lower. Need to be sure these are the right ones. How you know they're the right ones? Well, the shock needs to face the front. And this is what we do, guys. So I'm going to take a little bit of WD-40 and I'm going to shoot it on these pins over a paper towel. That's what you're going to be hearing. So I'm going to take a little bit of WD-40. Put a little bit on these lower pins. So grab your smooth pin, your long smooth one. It's a 4x64 millimeter. And what you're going to do is going to slide through the arm into that eye right there. So go ahead and put it in your arm and rest it inside that eye. Can't see a thing. There. There we go. Now, that bracket we had earlier, this bracket here, take it. Doesn't matter which way it goes on there. It doesn't matter at all. Take, and you're going to put it on, and these 2 little plastic dowels are going to stick and come through flush with these 2 small holes there. And these will wobble around quite a bit. So just put one side on, like that there, and then you get the other one where it needs to be, and then push it on. Hold the truck, hold the chassis, and push it into place. And see, they came through flush there. So now that arm is in place. Let's go ahead and put an upper arm on. So we know our shock is in front of the truck. So we have this arm here, and you can put it on like this, but it ain't going to work because it's going to be right in the path of the shock. So turn it over this way to allow that shock to come right through here to the lower arm. You're going to find which pin you need. Which pin, it's easy to find out. You can put this through. You see how that's a perfect match? That's the pin you need there. If you had this one here, it falls pretty short. The other pin, well, I just think it'll cut it at all. See there? Okay, so take your longest pin, put a little bit of oil on it if you want. Start it in that arm, just like that, and we're going to put it in right here. This bracket may need to move a little bit. It moves just a hair, see there? If you need to move it some, it's no big deal, just move it around. So we're going to put this arm on, and then start that pin through there. There we go. So there's our 2 right arms. Okay, grab your other arm. Remember, the opening right here for the shock needs to face front. Take your other long threaded pin, put a shot of W40 on it. Get your arm where it needs to be. And you're going to put your pin through. Alright, go ahead and grab your 2.5 and we're going to tighten these up. Hold your arm because it's going to want to flap around. Don't strip these out. Give it a little twist. Now we'll do this one. Little twist. There we go. Upper arms are on. So go ahead and grab your inner and let's get that going. So here's what you need. You need an inner and you need one of your threaded pins that goes in right here. You have a large hole here and a small hole here. You can tell the threaded shank is going to thread into this side here, so a large hole facing you. So just line the holes up, you know, line the holes up, just like that there. Very careful. That's it. That's all you need. We're going to do this side. All you do is grab your other outer and put that hole right where you need it to be. Remember, thread towards you. You can put it back right on there. Just like that. There it is. That's it. Good to go. Alright, now we have that done. Let's go ahead and get this baby going together now. Let's go ahead and grab your outers. So, the way you know which side this one goes on is, again, your tie rod. Your tie rod is in the back over here, right, which we have not put on yet. So this can't go this way, so this must be this side. Must go just like this, right? So let's just go ahead and do the outside one first so I can get that out of the way. Alright, so you got your assembly here, tie rod mount facing the back. Remember we talked about the index marks? Line up your index marks. I got lucky there, and it'll slide right in there. If it doesn't slide in easily, you're doing it the wrong way, so just be sure your indexes are lined up and it'll slide right in. Okay, then we also said the wide part faces bottom and then this faces back, so that everything's right. We have that 100% right. Go ahead and pick up your lower arm and just put that back into place. Your longer pin is going to go on the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on it and we're going to get it started. Now it goes in from the back side. Remember, it goes in right over here. Go ahead and start that pin. Get it slid through that knuckle. Be sure it's lined up. There it is. And you can go ahead and screw that one in. So I'm going to get my 2.5, and being it's between the arms, you know, I'm going to use this 90 degree to get in there and snug it up. Okay, I'm going to stop there and I'll come back and check it by hand in a minute. Okay, now let's go ahead and get our upper secured. Again, you need the shorter pin. This one right here. As you guessed it, you just pick it up and push it right into place like that. Slide it right into place there. And I'm going to get my Dewalt and tighten this one up. There you go. Okay, now remember, the shocks you're going to put up here are the ones without the new springs and without the little mark. If you put a little mark on there, these are the front shocks. You need a long screw and a little bit shorter one. It look like that there. So go ahead and get your shock ready. Let's get it installed. So line this little hollow ball up as straight as you can and get it in there. Here, it went right in. Remember, a little shorter screw on the bottom. Put that in, give it a little twist to get it started. Top one, we'll go right back in there. Line up that hollow ball straight. Chase your screw down. Put it back up in there. There. Get your 2mm and snug those things up. There you go. Okay, let's go ahead and put this little bracket on right here so that we ain't gonna worry about that falling out anymore on us. This little bracket, remember it looked like this here? Grab that little guy. If you look at the back side, it's got a couple of slots. Oh, put this open side down so dirt can fall out of there. So go ahead and put that back in there. Just push it on over the pins and run that in and tighten it, and then that'll keep that those pins from falling out of there. We should have done that to begin with. There we go. Okay, let's put the other side together. This side's good to go. It looks pretty too. Okay, go ahead and grab your other assembly. Let's get this one on and get our tie rods on there. Remember, index marks. Index marks. There it is. Right in. Okay, wide part to the bottom. Longer pin on the bottom. Shot of oil. Put it in from the back side. Right there. There it is. Go ahead and grab your other pin. Last one you should have left. I'm going to give it a shot of oil. And we'll line it up. Just like that. Pin goes in from the front. There we go. 2.5 on the front. Good and snug. Right here. There we go. We'll check these by hand here in just a minute. Okay, now we've got that all back together. Grab our other front shot. There's the 2 screws that go in the shot. And you'll know, just compare width. Here, you see good on this one. You see how that screw sticks out on the back side? That's too long. There it is. Perfect. See how it's right on the edge and coming out? That's perfect. And this is the top one. Okay, so we're going to take and put this one in. Remember, we're going on the outer hole. Drop it right in there. Give it a little twist to get it going. And then we're going to do this one. See that road rash right here? It spins. It spins like it slid a little pretty good ways on that shock tower. Okay, we got that one in. So 2mm. Okay, let's see what this one top one does here. So front end, back together. Nice and tight. Love it. Okay, let's go ahead and put our tie rods on. So the stock tie rods are short, you know, because of the short arms. So now we're going to put these on. I was waiting to put these on because I have to reset my camera completely. So let's get that done. So let's turn this truck over. Okay, let's go ahead and get these arms on. So I have this bell crank all the way to the left. So see there, push it all the way out. You're going to have a wide hollow ball, see there, and a more narrow one. The wide one goes in the bell crank right here. It doesn't matter which way it goes, like this, it's the same thing. Put that in there. Line the hole up. Put it in there, okay? It's 2mm, so let's go ahead and run that one in. Now we're going to go ahead and turn the truck around and do the other side. Okay, you can't see it there, we have to push it across. So, there it is. You got the wide end right there. This one is a shorter hollow ball, so put that wide end in there. Go ahead and get your screw ready. Put that in there just like that. Put it in, run your screw in. Good and tight. Okay, we got it turned over. Just pull it over into place. Right where it'll line up. Get it in there. Be sure it's lined up. I have 2 small screws left over. So you got these 2 left over. Okay, so you're gonna put this one in there. And go ahead and run it in. There we go. Repeat on the right. Okay, there we go. So here's your skid plate. I'm gonna grab my bumper. Go ahead and turn it over. And you got 4 tapered screws that belong in there. So you got those there. You have that little notch in that cover that pushes right in. Okay, I'm gonna grab my hand driver. I normally don't check them with that tool, but I'm gonna go ahead and check them being in that I need to check this other stuff, so I may as well check it while I'm here. So now let's check this lower waist, what we said we're gonna check. Good and tight. The other lower one, that one needed a little more. Let's check the uppers. Good. Good. So go ahead and grab your bumper. This little notch slides inside there. So just push down that skid plate just a little bit to make room. It'll go right in place. Put that long one where he belongs. Right there. Okay. And that's it, guys. We got the front end all back together. Just like it should be. The only thing we didn't do is obviously put the tires and wheels back on yet. I'm going to leave them off because we got to do the backside. So part 2 is going to be the rear half. So let's go ahead and get going on that.